People have been exercising for almost as long as society has existed, and throughout the years, many different exercises have come and gone, some being forgotten to the mists of time. Given just how many different exercises have fallen by the wayside, they can't all be bad. There must have been a good reason why people in the past did the exercises that they did. After all, even though people in the past didn't have our scientific knowledge and modern equipment, they still had something which is far more valuable in any time period: lived experience and a genuine drive to improve. So in this series, I'm going to be looking back to the past to explore and test out lost and forgotten exercises to see if they still hold up today. Welcome to the first episode of Lost Lifts. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at a very interesting overhead press variation that I've never seen anybody perform or even talk about, and that is the reverse grip overhead press. The name really says it all with this one. It's just like a regular barbell overhead press, but with your hands in a supinated position, just like if you were performing bicep curls. This one comes to us from George Hackenschmidt's 1911 book, The Way to Live. Although I'm not sure if he invented the exercise or if it was a pre-existing exercise that he simply practiced and recommended. Details like that are pretty hard to nail down. I'll probably be covering other exercises from this book as well, since there's a bunch of unique exercises in it. This exercise is detailed in the section titled Muscle Exercises with Weights, in which George Hackenschmidt describes various lifts for increasing strength recommended to be performed after the reader has achieved a certain level of general fitness. The one we're going to be looking at today is exercise number 4, which is described as follows. Jerk with both arms from the shoulder a barbell, using arm strength only. Jerk both with top and bottom holds. In this context, top hold refers to a pronated grip as you would use in an ordinary overhead press, while bottom hold refers to the supinated grip that we'll be trying out today. At first, I wasn't sure what the difference was between a jerk using arm strength only and a press, but when you look closely at the illustrations, it looks like the press is performed with a backwards lean, with the bar staying in front of the head instead of coming over or behind it, which is an old style of press that isn't really performed anymore, and the jerk appears to be closer to what you might consider a normal overhead press today. He didn't give a particular reason for why to reverse the grips, but in all probability it's to emphasize parts of the muscle group that aren't targeted as much in the standard variation, much like how reverse curls and reverse bench are used today. Looking online, it seems when the reverse grip overhead press is on the rare occasion recommended today, it's claimed to emphasize the rear delts or be more comfortable for people with poor shoulder mobility. But there's only one way to be sure, and that's to test it out ourselves. So I brought my barbell outside along with some weight plates to give this one a go myself. My goal was to see if I could press one plate at least once with reverse grip, so stick around to see if I'm able to do that. I started out with an empty bar, just trying it out a few times before adding more weight. I tried to keep it close to the illustrated form, but I did have to use a slightly wider grip. With each weight increment, I went for 5 reps. So far so good. It does look a little awkward, but it feels a lot more comfortable than you'd think. Once I hit one plate though, I started to hit my limit. With a normal overhead press, I can do a few strict reps with one plate, but it was not happening with this variation. So after a few failed attempts, I decided to use some leg drive to get a couple reps out and call it a day. After a little more testing with this one off camera, I think I can pretty safely say that overall I found this grip to be surprisingly comfortable. Going into it, I thought it would be an awkward movement that might have some obscure use cases, but I was completely wrong. It's a genuinely good lift. One big difference that I noticed was that I felt like the reverse grip encouraged good upper back engagement better than standard grip, and the back action also tended to feel smoother. It almost feels like you're forced to use proper back engagement with the reverse grip because the arms can't lock out otherwise. This is a key factor of the overhead press that a lot of people miss, so I think the reverse grip press has a lot of potential as an overhead press accessory. Overall, I would classify it as a complete shoulder workout just like the normal overhead press, but with the emphasis shifted to the muscles on the back of the body instead of the front. It would also seem that the online claims about it are pretty much true, seeing as this lift is more upper back focused. It would aid in scapular movement, which is key for shoulder mobility, and it would also utilize the rear delts more. On days when I included this variation along with my regular overhead press, my shoulders overall felt like they got targeted much better and just felt like they got a more complete workout. Personally, I also felt my side delt getting worked a lot more too. Plus, it's super easy to just do a set or two of reverse grip and get a way better shoulder workout than if you had just done more standard grip. The more I try this variation, the more I find myself liking it. I have found in my testing off camera as well, you can't really lift as much weight with this one as the standard overhead press. In the book, they recommend using at least 5 reps in all of the overhead press variations, and if you do sets of 5, you can match the weight with both variations, although the reverse grip is going to be a little bit harder. So if you're doing complete max intensity 5 reps, then I don't think you'd be able to get the same amount of weight up, but if you're doing a more moderate intensity level, then you definitely could have working sets of each using the same weight. And in the book, they progress the reps up to 10, which is a bit of an odd progression, having it go from 5 to 10 reps, but whatever. It was the 1900s. But you could definitely have working sets of 10 with each variation and use both grips with the same weight. However, if you're doing 1 rep maxes or very low rep sets like 2 to 3 reps, you're definitely not going to be able to lift as much weight with the reverse grip as the standard grip, which I guess is a reason why you don't see people whipping out reverse grip overhead press in any competitions. So does this exercise hold up? I would say yes, it's definitely worth trying out. I'll give this one a 4 out of 5 on the esoteric gains meter. It's probably not going to turn your training on its head, but it's a solid lift with some definite legit use cases. Do keep in mind though that the true value of any exercise can only be seen over long periods of time. This is just my overall impressions based on my own limited testing both on and off camera. I encourage you to try it yourself in a safe manner and come to your own conclusions, or don't. It's your choice. That just about does it for today. As always, thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to see more episodes coming up in the future. Thank you to everyone who supported me over on my Ko-Fi and on my Redbubble store, and a special thank you to my Corundum tier Ko-Fi member, Don Crow. Links are in the description if you're interested. As always, enjoy your training and have a good day. Goodbye.